Hello. For 29 years, the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh has hosted the Ronald H. Brown Leadership Gala. We'll tell you who's being honored at this year's event. And Lift Every Voice returns to the Heinz Halls to celebrate the rich heritage of Black music in America. Performers are here along with the nationally known artists. Plus, we share the story of a Pittsburgh native who made his mark in journalism, covering everything from the United Nations to the Cuban Missile Crisis. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, the Director of Community Impact at KDKA Plus and the host of Intersections. Leadership that makes a difference. That's the focus of an annual event hosted by the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh. The 29th annual Ronald H. Brown Leadership Gala takes place later this month, and it will honor several community members who are leading and elevating in Pittsburgh. Joining us now to share more details are Carlos T. Carter. He is the President and CEO of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh. We also have Monica Malik. She is the Vice President, Public Affairs Market Manager with Citizens Bank. Thank you both so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Carlos, tell us a little bit about the importance of having this gala, 29 years, almost 30 years now. Why is that so important to the Urban League as well as the community?
Well, it's important because, it's in honor of Ronald H. Brown, who was the first Black Commerce Secretary, and he was a true trailblazer. He also was a former National Urban League Vice President that really did great things to uplift folks, Black people and all people, and really helped our economy in terms of getting the U.S. in a lot of markets. And so through celebrating his legacy also dovetails well to making sure that we recognize other leaders who are making a positive impact in the community here in Pittsburgh, and especially a lot of Black leaders. I mean, we recognize all people, but especially African Americans, making sure that people are getting their flowers and really realizing the contributions that people are doing to make the quality of life better. And I love our theme is Our Time to Thrive, right? Yeah. Which I think is very empowering. Unfortunately, Pittsburgh economically hasn't been the best for Black people, but it's our time to thrive. It's about economic opportunity and making sure the Urban League has historically fought for equity and making sure that we remove barriers and create opportunity for people. So it truly is our time to thrive. Yeah, and then Monica, I know Citizens is like one of the sponsors for this event. Also, one of your leaders is the co-chair. So tell us a little bit about the involvement for Citizens and why it's important and how you guys want to have an impact.
Well, it's very important for us to support the Urban League and the programs that they have. Like Carlos said, we want to make sure that people here in Pittsburgh are able to thrive and get the help and assistance that they need. They have great programs that really support the citizens of Pittsburgh, so we want to make sure that we're showing up. We also have volunteered with the Urban League at different events, and this is a continued partnership, so we want to continue to see the Urban League thrive.
Yeah, and then Carlos, you mentioned that several people will be honored. Can you kind of give us some of who we're going to see honored at the event this year?
So I'll lead with the dynamic duo, Charlie and Latasha Wilson Batch with the Best of the Batch Foundation, just doing great things in the community. We honored them in the category of youth leadership and education, which is one of the pillars of the Urban League. Don Honorado, former county executive, now Highmark executive. We honor him for health equity and community leadership. Latrenda Sherrill, who is actually one of my favorites to recognize because she does such great work for equity, but she's somebody who's unsung, right? That she worked behind the scenes, so I felt good to put her in the forefront. She doesn't seek it, but the great work she's doing. And she did our strategic plan. Dante Green, with the Trade Institute of Pittsburgh, he's an emerging leader, and we have a great partnership with them in terms of through our Opportunity Broker program, like helping remove barriers so people can thrive. And so great young man doing great work. And he's also the coach of Westinghouse High School. Yes. Marimba Lyons, who is awesome. Her work, transforming communities in the Hill District. And we do a lot of work with them with home ownership and first hometown buyers. So everybody there is literally not only advancing the Pittsburgh community, but also advancing our mission of the Urban League of Greater Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and I know that there is space here for young people too.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, Monica, why don't you jump in there?
Okay.
Well, I had the opportunity to meet some of the youth that are part of the program. We actually took them shopping at Macy's, and got them outfits which they will wear at the gala. So I told them, like my parting words to them were, I can't wait to see what the final look will be.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to kind of reunite with the kids that are a part of the program, the mentorship program, and see what they look like.
Yeah, I mean, Urban League does so much here in the community, and that mentorship is a big deal. Tell us a little bit about, how you guys kind of work together to make sure that kids are getting those examples that they need to have.
Well, I mean, even if we take just a small instance of the shopping trip as an example, we had adults who showed up, talked to the kids, really asked them, what do you want, made them feel good. We tried on different outfits. Some of the girls, it was their first time really putting on something so formal. So it was a nice process of helping them to kind of think through, what do I want to look like, what image do I want to project, or being able to share stories of like, I remember when, and letting them know that, you're not alone in this, that we've been through these things before. So it's really important to kind of have that relationship with them and build that trust with them, so that they also know, like, okay, this is a fun time. I can come to you and talk to you about it. We can shop together, but also hoping that if there's something serious that happens, they also know to reach back out and to talk and kind of work through what the issue may be.
Yeah.
And for this trip, it was mainly our board members we prepared them with. So we knew, all young people don't have the resources to go to a gala. And so we said, let's pair them with our board members. And actually it was oversubscribed. So the students were blessed, but so were our board members. I mean, they ended up getting purses for the students. They said the voice took longer than the girls. They got them tailored. And so just a mutual joy, and just for our board members to really be part of our mission. And our young people, young ladies and young men, and our Black Male Leadership Development Institute and Black Female Leadership Development Institute are exceptional young folks. And actually the program was recognized by the White House actually some years ago by President Obama. But I always said we build upon the strengths of the young people, empower them to be leaders and change makers.
Yeah. A little earlier you mentioned your strategic plan.
Yes.
And I know that, just very quickly, tell us a little bit about, like, what is happening, or what is the future plan for the Urban League here in Greater Pittsburgh?
Well, I say, our North Stars, we envision a Pittsburgh where Black people have full participation in economic parity, where Black people are thriving socially, politically, and economically, right? Because I think for too long, we haven't always thrived, and it's time that we thrive, right? That we have a life that's meaningful to us. I always say people want us to settle for the crumbs, but we want a whole loaf of bread like everybody else. And so I say the plan is really focusing on 3 areas, really strengthen our ability to create economic prosperity in terms of home ownership, jobs, entrepreneurship. Second pillar, activate a network, making sure we're engaging people making sure people are engaged in voting, that we're working with corporate and other stakeholders to make sure that we're creating opportunity. Number 3 is a sustainable organization, right? The true measure of leadership is not just how you lead, how you pass the baton. So we're creating systems, modernizing the Urban League, and making sure that we have systems that will help us create greater impact now and into the future. But our vision, really, again, we have a vision of Pittsburgh where Black people are thriving. And so we want to take those steps. And the key part of that strategy is tech. We're doing a lot in tech and making sure we're giving people not just certificates, but certifications where they can make a lot of money. And so we pay for them. So that's a big thing. I think we have a waiting list now, and so that's important because there is no tech without Black tech, right? And so we have to make sure Black and brown people are part of the family and fabric of Pittsburgh too. So we need to be benefiting economically as well.
Yeah, and I know the event's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a silent auction. We're going to show people a little bit of the information on how they can attend. Again, it's the 29th Annual Ronald H. Brown Leadership Gala. It's on Friday, March 21st at 5:30, the Westin Hotel. And everybody's going to be all dressed up, the kids and everybody.
Yep.
It's where party meets purpose. It's a great event. Even when I wasn't running Urban League, it was my favorite event to go to. I went 5 times, so it's an amazing event. You see great people, and you support the money we raise here to help support our mission. So it's very important. But it's nice to have fun and celebrate people there and give them their flowers. So come on out. You sponsor, come, and be ready.
Have a good time.
Yes, be ready to thrive, support thriving.
Sounds great. Thank you both so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Coming up, dozens of singers join the PSO for Lift Every Voice, along with a member of the Roots Intersections. We'll be right back. Well, for the last several years, Pittsburghers' voices have come together with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra in celebration of Black music. It's called Lift Every Voice, a nod to the Black National Anthem. Joining us today are Moon Doe from the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. He is the conductor this year. We also have Nikki Porter, singer, songwriter, and choir director of the Lift Every Voice Unity Choir. Joshua Carr is a trumpeter and Paul J. Ross Fellow with the PSO. And also joining us remotely is Ray Angry, pianist, composer, producer, arranger, and member of The Roots. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So we're going to get started.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. We're going to get started with Moon. Tell us a little bit about, what people can expect and what you want people to experience with the performance.
Oh, so this concert is PSO really showing what we, practicing what we preach. We'll be bringing people together through music. And the people can expect to hear a very diverse program. Pieces that just showcase the orchestra, a piece with orchestra and a soloist, with Josh. Pieces with just the choir, with Ray Angry, and so it will be a celebration of diversity.
Yeah. And then, Nikki, you've been with this program for several years now. And you bring these voices from all over the city. Tell me about just that process of selecting choirs, selecting voices, and how you make all of that work together.
Absolutely. It's been said that I have some of the most talented friends, and so they're not hard to find. And when I told them about this endeavor and what the celebration is about, I just started placing calls and sending text messages to my talented friends, and they were so excited to be a part. So we do have some that have been with me in this choir since 2020. We have some that this is their first time, but they're all thrilled and just excited to bring great music and celebration of Black music to Heinz Hall.
Yeah, so we want to get Ray into the conversation. And so, Ray, tell us a little bit about why you wanted to be part of this. Like, what made you say yes?
Well, for me, music is about, telling the human story, and it's also about connecting with people. And the city of Pittsburgh is almost like a second home to me now, and I love the legacy, the rich musical legacy there. And I just wanted to lend my thoughts and talents to the city and bring joy and through music.
Yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about, what you have been back and forth here, spending a lot of time in Pittsburgh. Kind of explain the residency that you've been doing.
The residency with MCG Jazz is a really wonderful, wonderful collaboration between myself and MCG Jazz. And it's really a thrill to work with students and encourage young artists that have a vision and aspirations to pursue a music career. And so it's been a thrill for me to just lend my voice to them and also lend an ear and hear what they have and develop whatever they have going on. It's been a thrill. And working with the Pittsburgh Jazz Orchestra was just, oh my God, what an incredible experience.
Yeah, it's so great to hear, people talk about the musical talent that is here in Pittsburgh. And speaking of talent, Josh, you're also kind of newish to Pittsburgh. Tell us a little bit about, being able to interact with the PSO and being here in this town.
Yeah, I'm in my second year of the Paul Ross Fellowship. And it's an incredible opportunity and privilege to be with an organization like the PSO, an organization of such character, and to be able to connect with them and share and to have such amount of trust to join them and to learn from them really has been an incredible experience.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about just the night, the concert. Like I was looking at some of the pictures and like people look, it's multi-generational. Would you agree, Nikki?
I absolutely agree. I mean, my son is 16 years old and he's been coming since I started, but he and my niece and their generation enjoy it, as well as my mom, who's 75, and her friends come. I really think it appeals to intergenerations, and the cross-section of music that Moon described is appealing to them.
Yeah, and then, so Moon, can you talk a little bit about some of the selections and are there different arrangements? Like, how do you make all of this kind of come together?
It works only through trust. I trust in the talents and the skills of Nikki, the skills and talents of Ray, also Josh, and we're all professionals in what we do, right? And so we all come prepared, and during rehearsal, we make everything shine.
Yeah, yeah. Ray, tell us a little bit about, what you want to bring, to the stage, when the lights are up and everyone's in the audience and they're ready for this concert?
I would like to bring, just fresh energy and just really, I want people to feel joy and love when they leave. I want them to walk out of there differently than when they came in. I want to bring joy and add, some vibe and some spunk to the city.
Yeah, yeah. Nikki, I know there's a point where people actually sing Lift Every Voice.
Yes.
Together.
Together.
Why is that important and an important part of this performance?
I think it's important for the message. Obviously, the event is named after the song being a poem. It's uniting in a time when, unfortunately, our country is experiencing division. And so there's nothing like the piercing sound of these thousands of voices risen to their feet, singing together, lift every voice and sing.
Yeah. And then Josh, real quickly, you play the trumpet. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about, because you're going to be featured as well, about what it means to you to have a featured spot during this concert.
Yeah, it means, I feel being a musician, we serve humanity. And to kind of touch on what you were talking about, we've always been in this kind of struggle to connect and to empathize. And I feel like trumpet and music does that. So it's about bringing a wordless story to everyone. And I feel like I can share that, and I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah. So Moon, what do you say to people who are like, should I go to this?
It's a celebration of you, every Pittsburgher, so you ought not to miss it.
Yeah, yeah. And Ray, we can't wait till you get here. What are you looking forward to on that night?
I'm honestly looking forward to, connecting with the community, connecting with all the incredible artists that are going to be joining together on stage. It's going to be a great time. I just can't wait. I cannot wait to connect with all the musicians and to connect with the PSO.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's definitely going to be a great time. And so we want to show everybody the information about the concert. Again, it's Lift Every Voice. It's with the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra and all the people that you have seen here today. It will be Saturday, March 15th at 7:30 at the Heinz Hall. Thank you all so much for taking time and being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Ray.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. All right, coming up, the story of a journalism history maker from right here in Pittsburgh. Intersections. We'll be right back. Well, Pittsburgh has a lot of famous people who've done extraordinary things. That includes Mal Goode, who went from newspaper to radio to network television correspondent. KDKA's Mamie takes a look at his history-making career.
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
The body of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has come home for the last time.
Telling the stories of the most prominent figures. That's what Mal Goode did. But buried in American history, his story went untold until now.
And it's just unfortunate that a lot of people don't even know, at least until the book was written.
The Pittsburgh native was the first black network journalist to work as a national television correspondent in the country. He was hired by ABC in 1962.
Oh my goodness, that was amazing.
His daughter, Rosalia Parker, remembers how her father broke the news in their Belmar Gardens home.
My father got the phone call. He couldn't believe, as the grandson of slaves, that he was in. But he was 54 years old.
Goode graduated from the University of Pittsburgh in 1931. He wanted to go to law school, but the Great Depression got in the way. So like many others, he put on his hard hat, grabbed his lunch bucket, and headed to the mill.
Most blacks worked in that Homestead Mill. It was the town.
But while it was a job, it wasn't his dream.
He wanted to break into television.
He was a journalist at heart. So in 1948, Goode joined the Pittsburgh Courier, one of the most circulated black newspapers in the country. By 1949, his voice was hitting the airwaves at KQV Radio, one of America's oldest radio stations.
So that is how he begins to get his platform.
Leanne Sukis and Rob Rock are the authors of the new biography, Mal Goode Reporting, the life and work of a black broadcast trailblazer. We're learning the challenges he encountered, thanks to the two professors from the University of Pittsburgh.
Even though he gets a few gigs on TV, the public outrage at a black man being on TV leads to an immediate collapse of those jobs.
Goode understood the times. He was always a man who fought for civil rights in Pittsburgh and across the country. And because of it, he made a lot of connections, especially in the sports arena, which would get him from radio to the big leagues.
When Jackie stole home on Ostermuller, Fritz Ostermuller, who's dead now, at Forbes Field, I was in the stands on the third base side.
Names that are commonly known as great historical figures now, they all ate dinner at 7128 Tilden Street. He was very close friends with Jackie Robinson, and it was Jackie who made the inroads with ABC.
Goode began his broadcast TV career covering stories at the United Nations until
the purpose of these bases can be none other than to provide a nuclear strike capability against the Western Hemisphere.
The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962.
It was Mal Goode's persistent, polite, and even professional confrontation of injustice through his entire life that led him to where he could be and bring others with him, and to reshape a media format from within.
For 11 years, Goode broadcasted from all over the country. He retired at the age of 65, but he never stopped reporting. His resilience and persistence now being recognized.
Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare February 11th, 2025 to be Mal Goode Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
An honor that was a long time coming.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, it's amazing. Beautiful people, beautiful young women like you, and so many reporters across the nation, the young anchors that I see on national television now. As my sister likes to say, everybody stands on his shoulders.
The shoulders of a giant who, in front or away from the microphones and cameras, forged a solid legacy.
I'd really like to be remembered as somebody who tried to do something to make life better for somebody. Not better for black people, not better for Afro-Americans, not better for white people, but better for humanity.
Reporting in Belmar Gardens, Mamie, KDKA TV News.
And I'll have my last word when we come back. Health. Here at KDKA, we know that mental health is health, and it's important to not just raise awareness, but to take action. We're asking for your help in supporting organizations who embody that mission. KDKA is partnering with MTV for their annual Mental Health Action Day and giving grants to Pittsburgh area nonprofits who offer mental health education and support. If you represent or know of a nonprofit who could benefit from these grants, make a submission at mentalhealthactionday.org/grant by March 9th. And thank you for helping us take action for mental health. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.